Hello again. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Karen. A reminder that I am not a professional YouTube creator. I make videos to share my progress and what I have learned living a carnivore lifestyle. I use a tablet, my phone, and a laptop to make videos. I do not receive monetary compensation for any of my content. Links below to items I use are for your convenience only and are not endorsements for any company. Here is the promised video on some of the things I use in my kitchen with a couple of recipes added at the end. It's just my husband and I, so basically the setup is for one or two people. I mainly use four appliances to cook with. The first is a New Wave precision induction cooktop. I've had the New Wave for over 10 years and have used it constantly. I have had no issues with it. I also have one I keep in my RV. The cooktop is easy to keep clean. I spray a little dish soap on it and with a non-scratch pad wipe it down. Rinse out the pad and wipe down again and then dry with a paper towel. Very easy to keep clean. Second is an air fryer. It is a Innsky. I've had my Innsky air fryer for several years with no issues. It fits under my cabinets on the countertop next to the stove. As you can see, it is also has a rotisserie attachment and a basket. It will rotisserie up to a 3-pound chicken or small roast. You can put sausages or other kinds of links, bratwurst or whatever, in the basket to roast them. I also have an air fryer oven I keep in my RV. It is a Power XL, which means extra large, family size. It grills, air fries, and grills at the same time, and so much more. It fits on top of the RV stove under my hood vent. Lastly, I have a very old Roncourt rotisserie oven. Keep an eye out for one at secondhand stores or garage sales. Using this appliance is my favorite way to cook tri-tip and to roast a chicken. Directed heat makes for a good sear and keeps meats moist. The timer is also a big plus. Roast whatever will fit into it. I take the Ronco rotisserie on trips in the RV. To rotisserie a 2.5-pound beef tri-tip, I set the timer for 40 minutes and then let it rotate for 10 minutes with no heat. It comes out with a pink center, tender and juicy. Being there is just my husband and I do not use the oven stovetop. I place a silicone mat bought from Amazon over the glass top to keep it from being scratched and to help keep it clean. I like that I can set and see the temperature on the New Wave cooktop, one of the reasons I use it so much. I use a wire rack on my stovetop to place hot items straight out of the air fryer or oven. Even though the silicone mat is rated for 470 degrees Fahrenheit, the wire rack gives me a peace of mind, especially when using hot cast iron pans. Paper towels are a must. I use them to wipe grease out of pots and pans so as not to clog plumbing. When I wash pans in the sink, I always use dish soap and hot water to break down any remaining grease before rinsing. I do not like the solid aluminum tongs with the little teeth on the ends. I use the one pictured because I can get under a piece of meat easier with this type of tong. I like that I can get my fingers around it and have a better feel and grip on meat. The one pictured costs around $1 or $2 at like a dollar store. It's also easier to get the racks out of the air fryer and to just push things and pull things in the kitchen with them. If you're using bacon on Carnivore, Collecting bacon grease is important, whether you use it later for cooking or want to dispose of it. I like the bacon grease pot I bought from Amazon. I looked at several bacon grease containers and liked this one because it had a fine mesh strainer that catches tiny bits of bacon I do not want in the grease. The tiny bits may burn when the grease is used again if not strained out. I do not like using glass jars because of the possibility of breakage. Silicone basting brushes come in handy for spreading olive oil, melted butter, tallow, and other oils. Love that they go in the dishwasher and always stay flexible. I have several steak knives in the house and do not like using any of them. One day I decided to use a tomato knife I have had for years. It works great for cutting cooked meat. The one pictured I got from Amazon. Love using it as a steak knife. I'm ordering 2 more. They are on the expensive side, but worth it. Read reviews. Cheap ones are not worth the money. Vacuum sealers are great if one is in the budget. I have a very old one that still works, sort of. I have to set it on quick seal mode for it to work. No vacuum sealer? Then locking freezer bags are a must. The ground beef pictured was remains of a chuck roll I had cut up. I learned from another YouTuber that a food processor can make ground beef. It turned out great. I had lost and then found later my meat grinder attachment from my KitchenAid. Now I use that. I only do one pass through in the grinder. Did not like the texture it was suggested by another YouTuber to put the meat through twice. There is a store called Pop Shelf in my area. I came across some cast iron pans and dishes in the kitchen section at an excellent price. I will place a link below to the store's website. The cast iron dishes make cooking a good steak in an air fryer a dream come true. I love that I can cook a steak in the air fryer without smoking up the house using the cast iron steak dish I bought. One issue with these cast iron dishes is one has to have a big enough air fryer to use them in. The pans just barely fit in mine. Lucky me. The flat bottom dish is great for air frying eggs or making a small meatloaf for one. As you can see, the one that I grill steaks mostly in is 11 inches long, 7 inches wide. The smooth bottom dish is 10 inches long and you can see about 6 inches wide. Cast iron needs to be seasoned before use. I use avocado oil, which is a high heat tolerant oil. Use a basting brush to oil around the inside of the pan or dish. Wipe out any excess with a paper towel. Place in a preheated oven at 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes to an hour. Let cool. Now it is ready to use. Never use dish soap on cast iron or put it in the dishwasher. My cast iron pans are so well seasoned that I use very hot water and a dish scrubber to clean them after soaking for not more than an hour. Another way is to wipe them out with a paper towel while still hot if there is no burned food on them. If there is burned food and you do not want to use water, pour salt into the pan and scrub the salt around the pan until it is clean. Wipe out the salt. You may lightly oil the pan with a paper towel before putting it away to prevent it from rusting. To cook bacon in the cast iron grill dish, preheat the dish for 5 minutes at 400 degrees. Place bacon on the cast iron grill dish and cook for 6 to 8 minutes or until desired doneness in the air fryer. Drain bacon grease into the grease pot while it's still warm. When using a cast iron plate in the air fryer, it's very important that it preheats for at least 5 minutes and best for 10 minutes at 400 degrees before placing meat on the cast iron plate. Some air fryers have temps that go up to 450 degrees. Following an air fry temp chart for cooking meat The time has to be adjusted down because of the heat from the cast iron cooks the underside of the meat more quickly. With experience, one will be able to sear and cook to desired doneness. Pictured is chuck steaks cooked in the air fryer using a cast iron dish. Notice the grill marks on the pork loins. The recipe link is below for great air fry pork loins. I always add additional fat to pork loin because of its leanness. I love to spread bacon grease on my pork loin hot out of the air fryer and sprinkle some salt over it. To help afford bacon, I use bacon ends and pieces. My local meat market has bacon ends and pieces with no sugar in it and $1 cheaper than my local grocery store. Sometimes I can get big pieces enough to slice. Usually, though, the pieces are too small. The best way to cut the pieces up is with kitchen shears. I cut up the bacon into a fry pan and set my cooktop to 275 degrees. The lower temperature keeps the bacon from splattering too much. Let the bacon cook at this temp until the grease looks clear. That means most of the water has evaporated from the bacon, and the bacon will splatter less when the heat is turned up. I then turn up the heat to 360 degrees and cook until desired doneness. I crack eggs into the fry pan of just cooked bacon pieces and scramble together. One day I bought some flank steak. When I opened it, I found out that the meat was sliced very thin. I decided to make meat roll-ups with it. I pounded the meat even thinner than it was. I rolled the last of the sliced provolone cheese I had in the house into the flank steaks. I secured them with a toothpick and air fried them at 350 degrees until done. You can also do this and add pepperoni into them. Once in a while, to change things out, I like to make chorizo with eggs. This beef chorizo does have 2 grams of carbs per serving. I'm happy when I stay under 10 grams a day. My Fitness Pal says eggs have 1 gram of carbs. Below is a recipe if interested. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video was helpful in some way. Good day, and may God bless.